So we're going to turn to the big story right now, Tropical Storm Ian. We are, of course, on your side, tracking that system for you, going straight over to meteorologist Robert Speta, who has that latest advisory from the Weather Center. What does that mean right now for the First Coast?
Well, here, Destiny, it does look like starting Wednesday night, pretty much all day on Thursday and heading into Friday, we are absolutely going to have some messy weather here on the First Coast. We're looking at the winds that could be upwards of about 60 miles per hour, heavy rainfall combined with high tide and onshore wind. I mean, there's a lot of impacts. Let's get to this, though. Right now, this is still a tropical storm. Winds at 50 miles per hour. It has intensified over the last 6 hours. This is the big thing I have noticed, though, is the banding. In fact, if we pull back the picture here, you can see that outflow aloft here towards the north, that inflow wrapping into the storm system and convection, and overall just the circulation spinning up here. What does that mean? I know I threw a lot of meteorological words at you. This is strengthening as forecasted. It is expected to become a hurricane as we go ahead into Sunday night. Cat 3 southwest of Cuba. Right now, the track takes it just west of Cuba. It means that inner core, with kind of the central machine of the storm system, will remain offshore, allowing this to intensify up to a Category 4 storm system west of Tampa. The track has edged further towards the west. Now, you might notice this goes down to about a Cat 1 before making landfall. And I'll get to the reason why in just a second. Right now, hurricane warnings are in place out there for the Cayman Islands as this passes towards the west. That intensification expected, one of the big reasons, those very warm sea surface temperatures out there. This is just fuel for the fire. We're looking at temperatures into the high 80s, and then you see this moving towards the north, nearing landfall here as we go ahead through the day on Thursday. That's 8 p.m. near the Big Bend area. But ahead of that, we're already going to see high winds on here on the First Coast. And those high winds that we're going to see out ahead of this storm and that weakening kind of go hand in hand. That's because we got a front that's going to be coming in from the north, and that really is going to tighten up the pressure gradient. So even if the storm's west of Tampa, we're going to see a tight gradient, kind of a nor'easter coming on shore starting Wednesday afternoon through the evening. Gusty conditions right near our coast, high surf along our beaches, but also that's going to allow a little bit of dry air into the storm. That could knock down it from a Cat 4 to a weaker storm, but that does not mean it will be weak. Let's just keep that clear. We're not going to see, Category 4 storm conditions here on the First Coast. Let's make that clear as well. These are the main points I want you to take away. Will impact us Wednesday through Friday. Highest winds around 60 miles per hour, that threat of power outages. And the highest threat is going to be those flooding rains, 6 to 12 inches, high tides. We could be seeing some river flooding. I'll talk more about this and the rest of the week in that near-term forecast in just a bit.
All right, thank you so much, Robert. We want to make sure you download the First Coast News app for the latest information as we continue to track Ian. All you have to do is just take out your camera phone. Where you see it says Scan Me, just use that to scan that QR code, and it is a free app that will keep you, again, up to date with the latest information on Ian.